Hey, this is Misery Loves Company, a weekly social reading series hosted by miserytourism.com. Every Friday, we welcome outsider and transgressive writers to come and share their work. And it's fucking Friday, so let's get rolling here. First up tonight is Adam Johnson. I'll put the link in the chat. Hey, Adam, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for putting it in the chat because I'm going to click on that to read from that.
Cool.
I don't have it independently pulled up, and now it's not working. That's weird.
Huh. Is the link working for anyone else? Oh my fucking God. It is. It's I put the Zoom link in the chat. I'm sorry, guys. This is sorry. This is Adam Johnson's link.
I'm not. Here we go. Sorry, I'm just trying to rearrange the box here.
Yep, no problem. Take your time.
I lost it.
You need me to send the link again? It's in the chat right now.
Yeah, I lost the whole chat, and I'm not sure why that would be. I'm not seeing like a.
You
Okay, I've got it.
You got it? Okay. Because I could have emailed it to you too if you needed it, but okay.
All right. First one is called You're Mean. Make a beeline, drunkie. Articulate, swap rugs for the season K. My client was sent to prison today, remanded right there, and the judge had spiked hair and a deadly twinkle in her eye. She gabbled and pronounced and adjudicated him away like shoo, you, and deputy thanks, hairspray elections, all of it a cycle, I fear God. This is Folderol, an elementary for real. Might even be, as you say, apropos of a knocking. My ex put a hex, fine jugs, and 3.2 beer runs, freak K. Had the pleasure of meeting you in the gambling hell of courtroom 2D. You were jittery with coffee, and the bailiff shat a plate plenty. Deceased and brought back. Well, this is a short and as it should be, Esquirely. A fine new sentence, beautiful for you for the season. Fortify yourself, vitamin D, junkie, pablum, warts come fix, milady. My joinder, ex-party pleasure fix, white angel on heaven dust. Keep syntax, don't change it. I just made out with her and it felt illegal. Bro, it was illegal. Oh yeah, LOL, we hit the club or what? Yeah, K. One of my homies, you'll pardon the term, was Chuck the communist at the liberal arts school. We used to get buzzed and scream at each other because he was a pacifist and I wanted all of the oil in Iraq. I'm dating myself. I'm a flunky with crisp ones and a buttered toast habit. Old hockey sticks, old hockey everything. The smell, the upper thighs, calves, stolen hair cream of the crop, top jettison love triangle. Assistant coach Greg is a disgusting swamp creature, and the back of his ancient Tahoe reeks of masturbation and stolen youth. His tiny license plate frame that says bitches beware, but he's ready to walk down the aisle if he meets the right one since his third divorce, LOL. The last outgoing text from his phone before he went and did 6 months jail was, don't show your parents this. I'm sweating my nuts off. Tristram Randy and black and white snuff film I downloaded on Kazaa, then Bearshare, immaculate code, and Randy got snuffed almost delicately, and the chatbot still light years away. Rand was beautiful for his neutrality. He was like a walking Switzerland. He's buried in San Rafael. I haven't been in like forevs. I regret that time at LAX where we picked him up. He clearly wanted to make out, but all I gave him was a hug. You're free to set me on fire. It was never him. It was you. You're my person. This one's called Helmet or Not, I'm Game. It is inherently better than artificial intelligence because I swear upon my brother's breast this actually happened among the atoms of the earth. One time a guy spit in my mouth in a rural subway and every part of me filled with blood. Part of it was we both had fake law degrees, such as I discovered after the amorous all-out brawl under heaven. Trust for me is a very big thing. I have to feel safe and can't force it. If you saw Tracy's ass, you would die second wind me. You mean, yes, bro, hit me, got you, brah, like that after it. I did Fernando, and I'm sorry, I didn't teach you a lacrosse. Your dad Your real dad probably would have nestled in tight its community. No, it's not. It's good vibes. It's humid. It's feathers. It's ruffles. It's diametric in part. Pulled to port. I'm admiralty law trained. Be my backbone, my sky. Bitch, nothing else should matter, but it does. 10-gallon hat lesbian hit me with her car, but just a bump. Fuck off with your hokum pretended lawsuit. 5149K pay up or settle for punies. Cock-sucking lawyers speak for punitive damages. Our time together was genuine. I swear to gosh. I feel like we've been dating some like 9 months and I'm ready. Remember when we had our first laugh by the fountain? It was somehow tied to a memory of Rosie O'Donnell flinging those koosh balls at a cutout of Tom Cruise on her show or something. We played laser tag. It was epic. My brother made you drink E&J, and when you passed out, he covered you in Sharpie swastikas, LOL. Are you done? What you mean, babe? Hey, Baba, trail off. Watch where you going, essay, etc. An old routine, Cholo modifications, Jansport, Suckle Freak, Rambler. Well, only if it's a walkout, babe. You know I hate basements. Yeah, babe, but maybe we could make one of the rooms a movie theater plus popcorn machine, tow princess, park backlot, identified exhaust pipe. I will scrape for a living until 6 carry me. And you are ready, and you are reading this right fucking now, so I'm alive. That's how it works. Look at the sky. It's so beautiful. Do you see me? Suzanne attacked me at the girls' dinner. She's dead to me. She said that I said that she said that I said that she said don't talk to him. He's just with the crew, like right there on set. I'm weeping like every male in America. Just these millennial sob machines sitting in their Jeep Grand Cherokees, losing it uncontrollably. This is called Moana devastation. I'm sorry I DM'd. I'm sorry for everything. It's just your brain is a 10, babe, and your body is a 9.5. A recipe is a gift. Before and after Camus pincushion. Let's bowl. Or not, its fine brain is dull midnight sucker galaxy. Do you kiss your mom with that face? Well, actually I do. Fuck Bomba's socks. It's all money people from hell in a schmear job. Do you know this song? No. Now put your shirt back on. Again and again, my ears are open, but you can't utter it. Stasis Pharmacy, my grace temporarily. I must ask you, cease and desist living. It's a polite way of proposing suicide, but with plausible deniability. I'm tripping. I lost my Kimber 45 during the trip to Memphis. Colton probably has it. He's good as gold and pure of heart. An insoluble player. What's up, player? We in the Players Club RBIs. This is autoerotic, by the way. Didn't you see the disclaimer? LOL, all G people with good teeth are amazing. See example, bravo. You have no idea how many times I've been sucker punched, but you're on to me. My conceits and depravities, Delta Sky Miles, K, let's go. But what do you see for us in like the next year? I don't know, a car crash or a baby, headlights. I could get adopted or addicted to something, roller skates, for example. It's just an example. Sasha, stop judging. Sidebar with the clerk. I love that you can't remember what you write. This one's called Limbs. The arms adducts a sexed out tendon and says across the sky, hello, Roger. But the hips adduct, don't they? Yes, and now I'm going to steal and eat you. You're a man with your Glock, but have you ever fired a 1911 Kimber? Just once. Do sex machine at me, bro, but don't tase luscious liquid logo sprouts. Spice, pumpkin doodle. I'm in it for a penny, in for a pound, licentious, Wastrel, inflated Eagle, Cinemax, jerk off race, smooth teen, hockey muscles, 1998. Wandering into college rec, secondhand though, through Doggy Dog, my Prince Charming works at a GNC and has one of those enormous 2000s Bluetooth earpieces. He's an ex-mall worker, you know the type, the ones who work the stands and chase marks with lotions and Moroccan opera. Spark in the flug, bend the elbow cocksucker, humanistism, Tharkut, that's so Manchurian and adept and frankly orcutted, triple of lavender, respital simulacrumage, and give it a rest, it's not interesting. My number 1 year is 1998. Say it with me, Jansport. You would not believe how lonely I am. This one's called Straight Edge. This application is crazy. I want to eat your heart, but I'll settle for this used rawhide. I am basically a Sagittarius and cannibal. It's 20 years later, so I'll text friends from high school. They know the score and none of the numbers have changed. She hit me with all her strength. All she's got, Captain Jesus, holy high. I'm tearing up. I've lost everyone and he's dead. I will go on. I have to. I have kids and a wife and routines. If you reach out to me by DM, I will be flattered, but I will ultimately ignore. I'm sorry and shallow. Let's order the ribs and spirit. I can't be there. Daddy loves you, though. Simon will text me, babe. I want a Chase Lounge covered in Old Navy clearance and AR-15s. Chew pouch, spit, slit, gut, rot, slot, not for one, and one for you, sporting goods. Every person who has suffered from low T and hubris writes something similar. Being stuck in 90210, slow death, so lock in the menu, but glad to be honest. It's incredible what the people in Los Angeles will put up with. Their government could tell them to wear orange for a month for some unknown reason, and they'd all do it in their strung out pharma hellscape. Hey, this is Colette from the government. We're going to need you to go ahead and come in on Saturday in your orange bodysuit, to which, okay, Colette, I'm a good citizen. And then let's go out for goat cheese balls and tip 100%. Sewage crusting Ma was a creator, even with her Mossberg 12 gauge blam. I so miss her soothsaying and sloth boyfriend Marcelo, but sidebar, by this point in human history, most things unconventional are a bad idea. But oh baby, I'm a ham, sotto voce and kind of out of pocket. Hi, handsome. Okay, one shot of Jameson and keep a secret. I want to find God more than you want hair. I am a judge penitent but reformed. I gave up books and am saving up for the in-ground pool and walk-in humidor and a rare little Siamese for old gangbang over there. Points to his wife. This one's called The Space Between. At toi, you are a soft-heated wood floor in a kitchen, and I am happy now. I experienced white heat over 3 days up north in a cabin in a mix of misery and ecstasy, but the output was what it was, and I had E&J mixed with Coca-Cola and watched Dateline dog barking kill him, March Madness is madness, NCAA clothed Bondurks. The emperor of Japanese models, halogen crisp ones, unbox me, bro. The Art for Kids dad on YouTube is secretly an authoritarian from hell and reigns over his family like a vampire for the sake of money and a dollar sign in the can't eye of his liquid sable eyes. My mitochondria are on strike. Scab yells my body mid-thrust and other business. Every last one of you scamps eat veggie and sin the Ayatollah and the wood chipper. In the inn, in the state, in the night, my crotch rocket got me laid. How about you? I get it. Your kid is 8 and better than everyone born before her. I will write sounds. Oh, Larpinsko, Diz, Man, Spell, Captcha. Is Brenda someone who is an exception to the rule? Kendos, LOL. What did happen? Dude is marsupial. And Janet, fuck that, you're biased. Nah, but jealous. Remember those 2 guys who were driving around DC and shooting people from the trunk of a car? Kind of. Yeah, but I have to get up early. Leave me alone. Jesus, to be a good lawyer, you have to have a likable face. I'm a failure for sure. Someone I can trust. Pocket square fag the cigarette, not the guy. Chill out, Chris. Christine is annoying. I meant that. Still, so please send an ambulance. I'm bionic and loud. I'll don a hat and self-incriminate and Delta score hard questions. Funky walleye. It doesn't make sense. To this day, Julia Child and my wife says, can you go to bed? And so, her mouth is moving and I'm trapped like a fly in the web. Hi, Dustin, Mona Lisa for sure. I'm bad at math, but talented at Home Depot runs. Esquire, abomination. I'll talk all night. Just got popped and rolled on like some mark ass bitch. Cassidy evangelized Twitter. Hi, my lady. Stuart Buck, scissor sister. Tile flooring and a remodel. Can you please turn that down? I'm trying to wake up. Snuff me, babe. It's a video. Gold toed socks and Chevy Broncos are back in. I'm a filthy gun owner and I play the harp and weave in and out of traffic. No big deal. You're mean. Chelsea Clinton, or was it Rod? But whatever, she's all right. Pinto, floss, uber cram, tar, flummery, dance, triage, my wound, babe, Latoil, do Nord, fag, stand up, rock, paper, Blanche Kardashian. I tweet something low key and ambiguous, but it's actually an explicit cry out expressly to your grace and honoring junkie, coke, bake, handlebar, and peg, stayed hand of the cavorting true hush puppy abyss. What even are you, Bluetooth freakish rouge? Left an imprint, developed the photos on a safe path, get caught with a gaggle of exhibitionist photos developed at Walgreens, the budding development of an unregistered sex offender and democratic socialist. Umberto's luckless cabin crush. The guileful beach painter with the long pinky nail freaking on everyone red-eyed and alike, bees, knees, fortune blocks, and mocks, ready dip. You've read me this far, but do you know that I literally have never used the R word? This is the last one. It's called Alamal, how are you? Following Xante and pigs and chips down John Deere, muscular black light, ping pong, ding thong, sensual as a beaver, tooth me, baby, suck my dick. I can say anything I want. You can't, clearly I can't, I just did. Dartboard, original Peter Pustule, melting night sky, I drift away. From people, the opposite of magnetism, cat. Can I score off you? I'm straight edge. I just want to sniff your collar and jack off hard as fuck. I'm a wing goblin, religious type. I'll suck you, Hercules. New backpack. Look at me, not him. Me, ace of hearts. I once met Saddam. He was sad and hiding. I was a contractor. Let's leave it at that. I am the way. Might mischievous stool pigeon, blank note, discontinued $1,000 bill. I've been called every name in the book. Independent literature is a complete fiction, and every last indie writer and publisher would eat you like a sex skin and make a big 6 instead of big 5. Yeah, KK, who done it? Like I'm not completely covered in aluminum foil or anything. I need a vitamin water, the one with poison from China. You could never do this. I could never do this. Now we've done it, babe. Flew her to lesbian, heart nights, wake, repeat. I'll take the fries, actually the tops. And with ranch, is Scott working? Oh, LOL. I didn't know he died. Floor is actually not the original wood, but the baseboard is. Plus, there's plenty of room to add on, and the schools are award winning. So what if it's 45 minutes to the city? There's mature trees about a mile down the road. Good for sightseeing. Pinch me. Does that look like a sylph silhouette to you? Yeah, the girl on skates, she's probably in her 20s. Smash a window and discover. I'm thinking of going back to school, but first I need to cover my friend in Crayola swastikas. It's 8:38. No, it's not. Okay. Use saxophone, then suicide. It's an equation. Don't think too long on it. Just tip the plumber twice his hourly rate and don't ask questions of the government. Joe loves you. This is called existential blah for one person in a used dorm. Long streaming condomless used car lot. Wife is gonna put laughing, but what's his guts, etc. Flag on them. I take it back. Notes app. Whatever. My right knee hurts. Kind of. Women that I've been with. Women that I aspire to be with. Clunk goes, etc. Read Thackeray. Learn pod from Split Rock Lighthouse, Berlin, bee's knees, calf implant, the caliph said some ink, I don't care. She was always talking about how fast she could run away and how many guns she had. And she said she worked a bunch of restaurant jobs, which is how she learned how to be an artist or something. She told this one story about visiting some college like Sarah Lawrence, where she fought with all the communists in some house party. She spiked their drinks and shotguns with them, all of them, LOL. And someone was like, "Where's Amanda?" And apparently she got shot and was down in the yard. There was this whole group of groomer zoomers in the enclave. Where did you get those glasses? Did you know that Carl's in the hospital? I'm in the informational infirmary, coked out bloke water, RIP drip faggot segue. And when I offer to make you food that I grew up with, it's like I'm offering you a piece of myself. Catechism, recite Dr. John, can't remember my name. Aren't you Brady? Yeah, bro. How's your kid? And you thought you knew everything. What an embezzler. Fuck him. But honest, bro, on my mom, I cried to strangers in the bar last summer, and it wasn't Fern Gully. It's a big night, and I'll never tell you my secrets. I am busy suffocating in ancient unredeemed prize tickets. Hey, can I hit the last of that resi? Hit me. Don't mention other writers. It's beneath the work. Sue, Walleye. It's Xander. Whatever, I'll still eat it. I'll eat Bradley. For real? Yes, holy shit. It's a 38 special, baby. Now open up. That's it.
Holy shit, man. Holy fucking shit. There are so many incredible lines in this series of pieces. And in fact, if you scroll through the chat, you'll find a lot of that we've been quoting a bunch of them as you read. But man, you've created a really like completely unique but relatable mindscape here. Like Stream of Consciousness works are fascinating because in theory they should be so personal that they don't resonate, right? In theory, they like works or this stream of consciousness should be so hyper personal that they're inaccessible to people outside of your own head. And yet this this series of pieces is full of moments that like resonated very directly and specifically with with me, like especially. And I think part of this is that we kind of come from the same generation, but so many of these like little moments, little like references you drop, like fill me with this weird kind of sick nostalgia, like mentioning the DC snipers or the Saddam section, or oh my God, there was a really great one that has slipped my mind now. I'm trying to find it, but where there are so many moments here, and the way you juxtapose these like seemingly intensely different scenes and emotions and phrases and package them all in this really ingenious and unique certain particular kind of stream of consciousness writing is really fucking wild and really effective. And I think, as I've said before, marks a kind of fresh style for you, you know, man? Anyway, this is good shit.
Yeah, the last stanza of Limbs. My number 1 year is 1998. Say it with me, Jansport. You would not believe how lonely I am. That is a fucking phenomenal stanza. Like the backpack, 1998, and the Jansport backpack. Like holy shit! Like that's fucking like that. Like those two things symbolize everything about. They so perfectly encapsulate that year. Like you have 1998, the year I think of. I guess it'd be Jonesboro, the shooting or whatever, and also the year of a year where people could still carry backpacks in schools. It's like yeah.
Oh man, I didn't even think of it that way.
I remember
Yeah.
it's just like the way you do that, like what William mentioned with the stream of consciousness thing. Like it's like I'm seeing these things in my head, but also forming the associations, and like it's a real weird mix of like imagery that conjures a place and time, but also like a feeling, like almost like stimming kind of deal. It's really awesome.
And I didn't say this, but it's really fucking funny too in parts. Like the Colette section, you that captures a very particular kind of psychology of like in a way that's just really sharp and incisive and mean.
Well, thanks so much for letting me read, and thanks obviously for the kind comments on the work. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Thank you for reading. And you know what, Rudy, if you're still unmuted, You might as well stay unmuted because you are up next.
Oh boy. Yeah. I'm probably gonna share my screen for this one. It's just a little image that I made. It's for so there's a like format, I guess it is, like called one page dungeon, where you make a dungeon in one page. For they say it should be system agnostic or whatever, but most people just make D&D ones, I guess. But so basically it's like D&D, you go into dungeons and fight dragons maybe. But a lot of one page dungeons are just these little jaunts into that, basically, like some cool idea you had about like how to go into a dungeon and fight shit. uh a cool thing for a DM, like a little miniature module for a DM to run for fucking the players or whatever, for a night of fun. So I made one, and it's about basically a magic wand that opens a portal into other items, so you can go inside them and have a little bit of fun inside, like your shoe, or inside a fucking toaster, or inside a dildo or something, or whatever. So I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna share my screen too, if that's cool. Incoming screen share, I think. Oh wait, no, I don't want to do that. Can you guys see it?
Yep,
Yeah.
perfectly.
Cool. So I'll just skip around here. This game, or this little module, is called the Invisible Hand, because that's the name of the wand that lets you do the thing. So Elenberg, no resemblance to Ellenberg, a town in the North Country, is a rural mountain village of nothing people who have nothing. It exists so that the men down below can harvest its potential energy boon. You live in Elenberg. To better your community, 3 village elders committed ritual suicide, by jumping off the mountain so that their souls could form a powerful magical item called the Invisible Hand. Yeah. So what the wand can do, the Invisible Hand, this magic wand, can open a portal that lets players and other things freely enter or exit the inner world of any inanimate object. The world inside each object can be as vast as an entire plane of existence, or as contained as a single filthy apartment. See below for some tips on generating worlds. I'll get to that in a bit. It can instantly close an open portal at the wielder's command, transporting PCs back to the real world, also known as the fake D&D world, if they are inside an object already. And my favorite thing, it can do objectception. So players still have the wand on them when they're inside an object's inner world, so they can use it to create portals that lead inside objects found there. And this can be done infinitely. So if you're inside your shoe, there might be a world inside there. You can go inside a shoe inside of that shoe world, and then you're inside a shoe, go inside another shoe. Who knows? Whatever. What the wand can't do, the Invisible Hand cannot be used on living or animate creatures like undead skeletons, mimics, or other people, be destroyed, be stolen from its rightful heirs, the player characters. It simply returns like a bed bug infestation. And here's a bag of rolled cigarettes. So who are the characters? The player characters are townies with very few skills or prospects. Their most important trait is their last name, which is a name they share with each other and one of the martyred village elders. They wield Invisible Hand and have a desire to do great acts, or at least greatly retributive acts with it. Play. Have player characters begin in their ramshackle bungalow that a down below bank is about to foreclose on. They might tackle any of these problems to start with. So here's a couple of starting scenarios for people to get the players started. How to stop the first gremlin bank of New Haberdash from foreclosing on their property. How to strengthen the roof of the bungalow enough so that it doesn't fall in. how to stretch a bag of rolled cigarettes between 3 people for a week, how to turn a box of baking soda into profit or food. So, as you can tell already, some very North Country vibes here. Alternatively, they might just hit the streets and see what they can do with a magic wand that can literally rejigger items on a material level. That's cool. So here are some scenarios that you could potentially do as the DM. Let's see. So these are ideas for worlds inside of objects. So this is Rolly's Big Tobacco Country. This world is inside of a single rolled cigarette. A kobold tobacco farmer named Rolly is struggling to resist attempts by the Big Tobacco Factory to force him and his family off this huge but largely undeveloped farmland. The Big Tobacco Factory is owned by an aging dragon named Puff, slow clap, who employs 1d6 ash elementals and a legion of ash goons, sacks of animated ash dressed in humanoid garments. The number of satisfying drags you can take off the cigarette might be enhanced if players side with Puff's forces, but the cigarette might become less addictive and cancerous if players help Rolly push back or drive Big Tobacco out of business. So once again, these are items that you can like basically go into and change the properties of the item. So if you go into the cigarette and there's a world and fucking Big Tobacco is fighting this little farmer dude, like you could side with Big Tobacco and potentially make this shit more like addictive pretty much, or you could side with the dude and maybe it's not as addictive or cancerous, but you don't get as satisfying of a hit when you smoke it. And again, all just to smoke one rolly cigarette, basically. Fuck the basically the grandiose like meta plot shit, from the movie or from whatever D&D media you've heard of. This is just about making a cigarette, one fucking cigarette, be more bigger in your mouth with that good mouthfeel. Anyway, in Gold We Trust is the next scenario. This world is inside of a single gold coin. A huge dwarven mining operation is underway underneath a mountain. 2 young and powerful Draco Liches have engineered a military conflict in and around the mountain by literally redrawing borders on a map as part of Dragon Checkers, the great game of draconic conquest, trademark. Forces loyal to either dragon might include, and here's some of the things like you could potentially use in the game: a cadre of battle mages that specialize in fighting underground, several war golems whose logicon capacitors are built with golden circuit boards, some tiny gremlin troops who act as fair weather mercenaries and sell swords and are mostly interested in gold. Additionally, these hazards might present themselves: gold dust sickness, a physical ailment that afflicts miners and gradually turns them into inanimate nuggets of gold; gold munchers, monsters that eat gold, taking a bite out of dwarven profits, yum; underwater ocean pirates, which are fucking pirates. Also, one of the pirates is the Mind Slayer, I did it there. I did the thing. Is the Mind Slicer, not Mind Flayer or Mind Slayer captain, who can make himself the captain of any vessel by confronting its current captain and saying, "Look at me, I'm the captain now." And that's a mental based magical effect, moderately difficult to resist. Major note: the world inside of the gold coin contains more gold than the coin is worth, somehow. Caveat to major note: most of the said gold is well guarded and or risky to obtain. And here's some cockroaches. Here's another cockroach. Here's some money. And here's your appendix, where I basically just have some ideas for, like, if players are having trouble thinking of a reason to go into their dirty underwear or whatever, like here's some reasons. So you could change the item size, you could change the item's ability to deal damage, change the type of damage the item deals, remove a magical property of the item, say its chance to explode, by doing something in the inner world, so like disabling a bomb or something like that inside of it. Explore a cursed item to get hints at what the curse does. So like in D&D, sometimes you got items that, like, you might put a shirt on, you don't know what it does until you fucking wear or wield the item. So with this, you could like test an item and not necessarily identify it outright, but you could test it and go inside and just see what the world's like, and then you could infer from what details the DM gives you about the world, what it's like or whatever. You could weaken some armor by teleporting rust monsters into it. You could give an item supernatural properties by putting a huge amount of some mundane objects inside of it. So you could give a Tierra the ability to fly by catching 300 birds and putting them inside the Tierra's inner world. So right now you're seeing basically how fucking gonzo and retarded the games that I GM are. Change the item's weight by taking things out of it. Bring personified inner world denizens to the outer world for comedic purposes. So you might go into your shoe and there's like, I don't know, a fucking gas cloud elemental or some shit in there, a stink elemental. You could bring him out of, you could open the portal back to the real world and bring him back there for some reason. You could also use it to farm experience. So if like you get fucked in there and you're fighting some monster that you can't beat, then you can just wave the wand and you're back out to the real world. So here's a random table of inner world ideas. You could do one of these if you can't think of anything else for some reason. The inside of a lump of toe jam, and this is where I make the Quentin Tarantino joke. He's an earth elemental lord. The goal there is please him. The inside of a mirror, so clones of player characters along with their equipment. The inside of a soft drink, capitalism fighting communism for some reason. Red dye number 15. The inside of the invisible hand itself. So you could actually go, like, let's say you have this scenario where you go inside the mirror and you have like clones of your equipment. You could then use your version of the item on your clone's version of the item to go inside of it and do something. I don't know, do whatever the fuck you want. That would probably lead to some kind of weird recursive situation. And here's just some little notes. Players still have the item they're inside of in their possession while they're inside of it. So basically, this is some super gonzo bullshit because, like, so let's say you go inside a sword that you're holding. So if you then swing the sword inside of the item world, you know, while you're in there, like, what's gonna happen? It's gonna fucking swing the world too. So everything is gonna go flying and shit is gonna be really fucking stupid, and just basically you'll cause like some disaster just because you swung your sword at a monster or whatever. So what constitutes an inanimate object is up to you as a GM. So you could potentially say, just ignore that rule and say, hey, like, you know, you can go inside a person too if you want to. So let players use the wand as freely as possible. So does someone want to pause combat to spelunk a bullet being fired at them? They can do that. So let's say somebody wants to shoot a bullet and make it do more damage. They could use the wand to make their bullet, you know, come out of the chamber more fast or whatever, or just deal another dice worth of damage if they fucking want to do that. So yeah, that's basically it. It's I have some anecdotes from my own campaign, but most of them are very racist. So I probably shouldn't tell any, or else I'll incriminate myself and my players.
Oh no.
But yeah, that's
Oh no, you
that.
don't want to incriminate yourself and your players.
No, definitely not. Rolly bag.
Man, I love the rolly bag. First of all, you actually near the end there raised a question and then addressed the question for me, because I saw that you could go inside the wand, and I was like, wait, but if you can go inside the wand while you're holding the wand, how does that work? And then you addressed it in the next point. So that was nice.
Oh, what? Oh, you mean the
Because
yeah.
you stated specifically that you can use the wand to go inside the wand, and I'm like,
Yep,
well,
yep.
what happens then? And then you established that you still have the wand inside the wand because all the
Oh yeah.
things on. But anyway,
Yeah.
man, I like this. I really dig this. What I think I like most about this is that you've taken, now this concept is like inspired by the
So
RPG.
this is this is inspired by, if anybody's ever played Disgaea, it's a JRPG. Has anybody played that? It's kind of obscure, weird JRPG, but
But one of the
Hey.
mechanics in that game is that you can like go
You can-
inside items to like grind up the level of the
to
item.
level them up. And what happens is you go in, there's a random dungeon inside the item, and you can fucking, yeah, you can level your, so you can go inside a potion or something and grind it up to such a degree that it'll restore, 9999 hit points or whatever the maximum.
Right.
I don't know.
So what I really like here is you've taken that concept and you found like the materialism that's central to that concept, and you've been like, well, how can I go completely gonzo with this, like thematically gonzo? So because like what are the motivations that would drive someone to want to like go inside their sword and grind it up to level 100, right? Like what?
Yeah.
And it's an obsession with the kind of like material world. And I love how you've taken that and you've connected it to like the material world outside, to like poverty and to like, scarcity existing in the outside world, and made that kind of, and thematically connected that to this desire to go inside material objects and tweak them. And there's this kind of, I don't know, there's just a real thematic unity to this whole thing that I like, that broadens it outside of the kind of shit that like the simple RPG premise. And so I really dig the idea. You also like say, well, how absurd could this possibly get? And you
Right.
explore, like you try to stretch that absurdity, which I
think
like, because so often the impulse that RPG designers have is to avoid both of those things. Like, we don't want to explore the real world implications of this. We don't want to imagine what this would be like, why real world people would engage in this behavior, and like how this reflects on real world shit. And also, we want to clearly delineate what you can and cannot do to prevent people from indulging in the more absurd possibilities. And I love the fact that you like bucked both of those trends here and really said, no, I want to see like, what's the real world like connection here? What's the like thematic connection to like real world poverty and real world scarcity and real world hoarding behavior? And also, like, how crazy can this fucking get?
Well, the main impetus was basically the gonzo element, like the real world poverty thing. Like I was trying to, so I use this in my main campaign that I run in real life with my buddies, and yeah, so it doesn't take the same form in that campaign. It's just like a magic wand, it's not exactly the same. It's the same, maybe some of the same thematic stuff, but basically I just wanted fucking this guy item world because fucking it's so cool, like, right?
Right.
But I kind of formed this into that after the fact. But I just like the idea of somebody going into them, like their shoe while they're walking with their shoe, and
Yeah,
the
exactly.
world
And
is like
like,
coming apart, while because they're wearing it. So it's
right,
like,
right.
it's
And
just an
also
absurd idea.
like using it for mundane, sad shit, right? Instead
Yeah.
of like, hey, I want my sword to do 250 damage instead of 50 damage. Like, how,
Yeah.
like, I want this
Yeah.
bag of fucking rolling tobacco to last as long as it can. Like,
Yeah.
that is so despairing and so sad and funny
Yeah.
too. But like that
Like,
someone would do that,
yeah.
and the implication, and it's true. I mean, fuck, man, I live in the North Country too. I know exactly what
Fuck
you're
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
But the way that you found that connection here is, I think, really cool.
Oh, well, thanks. I'll tell a story after the thing here.
Okay, when we're no longer recording.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, thanks for letting me
save it for the after party.
save it for the after party.
But when the shit that's like too offensive to go on regular Misery Loves Company. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thanks, man. So Coleman is up next, and Coleman's actually the last person on the docket for tonight. So if anyone would like to read after Coleman, just put it in the chat, or else I guess we're ending early. Anyway, Coleman, floor is yours.
Thanks a lot. So I'm gonna read some poems and some more Sinryu poems. So yeah. Three black Doberman, spiked collars flash like comets, white trash trinity. Wearing a trench coat, it's just raining, I promise I'm not a flasher. Scared grandma hates gays, never heard her say it, but she's from the 50s. Boyfriend has Tourette's. Dick, ass, ugh, lick, butt, fuck, slut, bitch, shit, I love him. Charles Bukowski, love is a cat from heaven, he's just fucking wrong. A black widow spider, guilt written over dead flies, drinks her own venom. His face melts his cheese. I really, really love cheese. First nightmare this week. Taxidermy deer, eyes bright, ebony marbles. Dead, 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 dead. And then I have a few regular poems. This one's called Transfiguration. I miss my old 14th floor apartment. No one could see that high up. It was perfect standing naked in the window on sunny days. This is how vampires kill themselves, I would think, and still be alive. And this one is kind of a revision of a previous one. This is Sad Mosquito. Nothing personal. You taste as good as anyone, and I want to live. Palms crush our small skeletons. The blood you see is from whoever previous meal. People forget whose blood is on their hands. Most of us live 3 weeks. I want to be a concert pianist. I fuck my wife. She is a mosquito too. And this is Health Freak. Smoothie bar boy mushes cucumbers into whirring with a black butt plug, raising his hands above where I wonder about dipping something flesh soft, seeing how quickly destroyed it is and if that boy's blender loves like you do. Slicing us up until we become juice, your favorite way to consume me, to remain pure, as though I'm an edible without pain or forced emulsion. I'm the nutrients giving you strength. And I have one more Sinryu. Fuck yeah, baby. Thank you.
Goldman, I'm glad you saved that one for last. That, as usual, man, this is spectacular. I want to say, first of all, that I completely agree with Rudy that the Tourette's one is the perfect Senryu. That was it. That one was fucking remarkable. They were all good though. Of the batch tonight, I particularly love the fucking smoothie poem. I love the way that's set up. I love the way that like the narrator or you become the smoothie over the course of the poem. And it's very typical of your poetry, and I mean that as a compliment, in that you take shit, you do this wonderful like metamorphic thing with your poems often. Well, you will take something very mundane and then make it very gross and then make it very beautiful. And this poem is like the perfect example of that, where like the smoothie preparation becomes this kind of like pulping of the self, pulping of the narrator, right? This kind of like annihilation, grinding up of the narrator that's very graphic. But then it ends on that line about giving strength, which is like, or I'm the nutrients giving you strength, which gives the whole thing this kind of like oddly romantic and beautiful quality. And I think it's just a fabulously constructed poem. But as usual, it's all good shit, man.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words.
Yeah, thank you. So I just got a message from Sam that he has some stuff that he can read. Rudy, did anyone else sign up that I missed?
Not that I saw.
Okay, well, we'll give the floor to Sam, and if anyone would like to read after Sam, just drop it in the chat. And if not, we'll close up shop.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yep. Hey Sam, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good.
Good.
Hang on. Let me find the poem. Sorry, this isn't my good poem that just got published. This is some dog shit tweets that I drafted.
Only the best shit for Misery Loves Company, right?
It's called She's Sucking Me. She's sucking me in a manner most perspicuous. She's sucking me in a manner that is entirely rational from the standpoint of Keynesian economics. She's sucking me hither and thither. She's sucking me in an upwardly mobile way. She's sucking me in a manner which leaves me utterly baffled, yet intrigued. She's sucking me in a progressively taxed way. She's sucking me most virtuously, as is entirely becoming for a woman of her social standing. She's sucking me in a manner most tactful. She's sucking me in a way which manages to escape the ontotheologic entrapments of Daseins' linguistic finitude. She's sucking me discreetly. She's sucking me in a manner imminent to the necessitated reality of monistic substance, qua nature, qua God, whose aspects are manifested in the accidentals of that which appears to me as essence, but which in actuality is mere appearance and not the thing in itself. She's sucking me in a manner that is at odds with Leibniz's principle of the identity of indiscernibles. She's sucking me in a triadic, semantic, theoretical manner. She's sucking me in a synthetic, a priori way. She's sucking me in a manner most truthful, and so, necessarily, she is sucking me in all possible worlds. She's sucking me in a Socratic manner. She's sucking me in a manner that grasps the nature of an apparatic inquiry's resolution as requiring a sufficient answer to the TSD question. She's sucking me in a manner aligned with the Davidsonian conception of the constitutive principle of rationality for intersubjective discourse. She's sucking me in a manner which is able to be fully accounted for via an extensional semantics. She's sucking me in a manner that is neutrally monistic. She's sucking me in a manner that does justice to the is-ought distinction while still accounting for both deontic normative and alethic modal vocabularies. The end.
Sam,
Oh, wait, hang on.
oh, there's more? I all right. I'm gonna wait because I think Sam said hang on. So I'm not
All right, I'm back.
okay. Man, that was fucking spectacular. I don't know what to say. You fucking killed me, man. The all possible worlds one, it just fucking completely slew me. But every one of those is hilarious, and this is a great, like, I don't know, like, satire of like philosophical jargon and like the empty language of ideology and all that shit. Like I could say shit like that, but like ultimately it's really fucking funny. It's just fucking hilarious. And I don't want to get too pretentious about how it's hilarious because then I feel like I'll fall into the trap of the poem itself, right? But this is just incredibly funny. And you can look in the chat and see that everyone was just completely losing their shit. This is fantastic,
Oh.
man. And I wish Misery Tourism was still around because I would.
Oh, I would send this to you guys. I want to get it
Uh,
spectacular, but yeah, the All Possible Worlds one's my favorite.
yeah, it's great shit, man. It's great shit. Thank you. I feel like I can feel Rudy wants to say something about this. I don't know why, but I have an inkling that Rudy wants to say something about this one.
I was just wondering, are all the first of all, that's a fucking awesome poem. But are all the like philosophical? I know nothing about philosophy. Are those all like real things? Because I don't.
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah.
Damn.
I know what all those terms mean. I only use terms I felt confident in.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure if it was some like collage of philosophy or whatever, but that man, holy shit.
Or I could tell you what any of them means, but yeah, the
That is amazing.
debatable whether or not they're relevant to whether she's sucking me. But
I see. Man, that like wow. That I feel like if Lewis Carroll were alive today, and I should be really careful with what I say. But if he were around today, he would probably instead of taking photography, he would probably be writing poems like that. I mean, in addition to doing photography.
Right.
But
He wouldn't be publishing poems like that, but he'd be writing them and sharing them with his friends.
with his homies, yeah. That is like the ultimate, like I don't know, like
oh, can I read my
whatever, yeah.
Can I read my good poem?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah.
All right. This one was on Apocalypse Confidential. It's called Mutualism. It's about mosquitoes and bugs. I've read it here before, a couple of times, I think, but now it's finally published. There are no mosquitoes in spring. They're still tentative, waiting out of instinct to spawn, fearful of cold snaps, evaporating whole generations of early risers. Storms precipitate from little and make noises like they want to shatter my bedroom window, or full trash cans or recycling bins thrown against the wall just downstairs. No dam breaks. All that is needed is enough water falling on an inclined plane to destroy every photograph in someone's basement. Blood leaks when I slap a mosquito or when I slap something tickling my arm. Filth from the heat and air coats into a thin film when I'm outside for more than 2 minutes. Later, violated by a tick after walking through tall grass, I slowly heat a lighter to press against it and carefully peel it away. That's it.
Oh man, Sam, I do remember this poem. I distinctly remember this poem, and I'm really glad you found a home for it. Can you put the link in the chat just so Rudy can tweet it?
Oh yeah.
But man, I distinctly remember you reading this poem before, and I remember being really impressed with it then, and I am equally impressed with it now. And I think it's kind of wonderful that we had 2 mosquito poems read tonight. It's too bad Andy Tran wasn't also here because he had that really fucking amazing short story that I think was about a mosquito. But Sam, this poem continues to be really good. I continue to like the just like specific naturalistic detail of it, the way that you get at like the struggle to survive in a way that makes you empathize with this mosquito, but doesn't like humanize it or anthropomorphize it in a really like way. I don't know, it just feels really real and manages to evoke real feeling at the same time. So yeah, awesome stuff.
Cool.
I'll put that in the chat.
I found the link on PopCon, Sam. I just tweeted and added them.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Derek, do you have something you want to read? You want to? I see something in the chat.
I showed up all late though, so I don't want to. You
That
know what I
doesn't mean
mean?
it. What does that mean? Did
I
you
don't
showed up
know.
in time
It's
to read, didn't you?
it's
Like it's not
it's
over.
it's a salon. Do you know what I mean? It's about being kind, not you know what I'm saying? Like I've
Yeah, but we're at the point where there's no fucking etiquette to this thing, man. You show up and you read your shit if you want to, you know? We're 2.5 years into this thing.
That's
There's no
true.
way at this point.
That's true. Why do I still get like nervous? It's fucking weird. Um, I wouldn't mind reading something. Is that all right?
Yeah, definitely.
Dude, I'm not gonna read it all because it's super long. So I'll put it in the thing. It's from Wartime Author today. I followed the whole World Chess Championship that just happened. And I'll give you just the very intro paragraph so you know what like the stakes or what's going on here. But my editor won't speak to me. The Atlantic has not published a single one of my reports. The newsroom instead is filling up with artificial spiders, gurgling data rays dressed as large language models. There's no place for humanity in this certain century, and yet the checks are clearing somehow. I decided to go on a sojourn during what I'd guessed incorrectly would be a lull in the war to report on the World Championship in chess. Then April 9th, 2023, the World Chess Championship takes place in Kazakhstan, right next door to the war at the St. Regis Hotel, April 9th through 30th, between a Russian and a Chinese player. The reigning world champion and best player in the world is Norwegian and refuses to play. So that's, the guys. And then the Russian, Ian Nepo, we call him Nepo because I can't pronounce his last name. He must play under the FIDE flag instead of the Russian flag on account of the war. Doug Loren plays under the Chinese flag, his home country, where he's reportedly mostly unknown. Side note, didn't go into this, but Ding Loren only made it to the candidates to tournament to decide which two people would play because another Russian had to be kicked out because he said that Ukrainian people, were Russian or whatever. And so he got kicked out. So that's how Ding Loren, the Chinese guy, gets in here. I didn't even put that in there. Okay. So we're just going through a bunch of games because I'm not going to read all, like if you guys actually care about the World Chess Championship game, it's in there and whatnot, but it's just like whatever. It's but I'm going to start with April 21st, 2023, because it has a couple of things that people in here are going to know something about. April 21st, 2023. And at the end of this one, you'll see what the score is, but it's the first person to 7.5 points. Half point is a draw, 1 point for a win. And if you lose, you get nothing. That's the way life is, folks. All right, April 21st. Never pay to go on a boat, Bible said. I hadn't read the book or hadn't remembered. We're all here jumping through time a little bit. 300th share of the Pequod. Surely they must pay, I thought quietly to myself at the time. Surely someone must. Ukraine is once again calling for the jets. The West arms them, funds the entire war in every way except flesh, and tells their people war is far away. An accident in Belgorod today. The Russians are bombing themselves. Ding secured a draw against Nepo. Today is black. Tomorrow is a rest day. 5-4 Nepo. April 23rd, 2023. Game 10, a draw. I slept through it. I've slept through a lot of things. 5.5 to 4.5 Nepo. April 24th, 2023. Chess is war game. Poker is war game. Cyber writing is war game. Sex is a war game. New York is war game. Game 11 is another draw. 6-5 Nepo. April 26, 2023. On move 35, Nepo starts talking to himself, disgusted. He put himself in this position by playing too fast, not calculating, getting so close to the title of world champion that he could taste it. And so he did and blundered it away. Head and hands visible, shaking, incredulous. The suffocating pain of the game is present everywhere on Nepo's face and body. He twists uncomfortably in his chair, sitting with his pain and the tension of a lost position. He collapses into himself in his chair under the FIDE flag. The clock continues to run at a devilish pace. Nepo cannot find a move other than to look away, shake his head, curse in Russian, and laugh. His head on the table, buried in his arms. A few perfunctory moves and then handshakes. Nepo resigns. The championship match is all even, 6-6, going into the last two games. April 27, 2023. The penultimate game is a draw. A rest day tomorrow. Ding will have white for the final game, 6.5 to 6.5. April 30th, 2023. Nepo's hand shaking. He knocks over some pieces already out of play. twists uncomfortably in his chair, shakes Ding's hand, stands fully and walks off the stage and out of view of the cameras. Ding Liren covers his eyes with his hands, also fidgets with the piece. He takes a breath and has a private, public moment over the board, alone, as the new world chess champion. It was a very emotional moment. I cannot control my feelings, and I know myself. I will cry. I will burst into tears, Ding said afterward to the assembled press. Later, he would recall his thoughts when he declined the repetition and determined to have a try at a win instead of drawing and moving to tiebreakers. I remembered Camus. If you can't win, you have to resist. May 6, 2023. The flight home from Azana took 5 days. I still haven't been to Bucharest, but I can now say I came close. I scream out for Merce Cartarescu. The electrician came over and fixed the lights today, thank God. They've been causing me nothing but trouble. The fashion designer and belt mogul tells me tonight about decoherence. His friend works for DARPA and the GLC. He's waiting to hear back. He's researching quantum computing. Decoherence is the problem we need to figure out, he says. He has been talking to the ChatGPT in Dan mode. I started working with a team from Belarus on another project. The Wagner Group is abandoning cities. Reports are there's a funding problem. Gary Kasparov, the former world champion chess player, interviewed by Forbes 4 days ago at the Milken Institute Global Conference. Gary Kasparov, the exiled Russian world champion chess legend and chairman of the Renewed Democracy Initiative, has been warning the world about Putin since January 2001, his first op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. I hate to tell people bad news, but unfortunately this war will not end as long as Putin stays in power, he tells Forbes. Kasparov has been demonstratively and demonstrably correct about Russia under Putin this entire century. I didn't mean to keep going like that, but that is the end of it. So yeah, so Doug, Ding won.
Yeah, so first of all, you could have read the whole thing, man. You could have read the whole thing.
There's a lot. I mean, so there's just like chess bullshit, you know.
But
and
you
it's
know
like
what we look who you're
it's
talking
very
to. We
boring.
love
So
chess
just like, and it's
bullshit.
long and like, you know, bath time. So I mean, I don't know. I just
Rudy,
thought,
Rudy,
like,
would you have been upset if Derek offered more chess bullshit?
I came in late. I mean, you know,
I would have been sexually aroused, maybe.
But Derek, anyway, going by what you read, I really dig this piece. And what I dig the most is the way that you turn this real world event into a microcosm for the war. Like you capture, you find in this thing that's happening a parallel to this larger conflict, and you explore it in a way that isn't too heavy-handed, that's subtle, that's gentle, that's still very attuned to the reality of the thing playing out and to the like human reality of the thing playing out, the conflict between these two individuals. But it thematically ties back in, I think, a really effective and moving way. And the fact that you find Kasparov at the end, like and that becomes like the perfect point of intersection between chess and the current war, I think is really effective. This is just
part of what I thank you, man. Part of what I didn't read is that, I mean, Noam Chomsky has made a comeback these days. I'm not talking about the other thing, right?
You're not talking about the Epstein.
We'll get to that, but like, no,
Okay.
Noam Chomsky has made a comeback these days in terms of like, he is staunchly sort of anti-West's involvement with Ukraine and more sympathetic to Russia than most. And of course, that's a complicated whatever thing, right? So, but he's been in the news a lot for that, or been like doing stuff. And then like right in the middle of me trying to like write about that and figure out why this falls on what axis, because it's Chomsky, he ends up being outed as being like on the private plane or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or like with Epstein, like the island. Like,
yeah, no, it's so there's some of that's in the earlier parts that you didn't read.
Yeah, but it just, the connection, the way
It's
things like
fascinating.
oddly connect, like when you start. Anyway,
And
I'm stoned as shit. I shouldn't be analyzing anything.
I
Thank you for letting me read, and for being.
Thank you for
I mean,
reading.
I came in, I did like a shot. You know what I mean?
I really dig this project as a whole too, because I think it does what like great contemporary literature tries to do, like literature of its time tries to do, which is it really tries to find the signal in the noise without because like so much of writing about the present is just writing about the noise of the present, just writing about like the ambient noise of today, or it's like really crassly ideological or really like has a clear message to send. And I think both of those approaches are for literature that ends up producing literature that's dead in 5 years. But what you're doing here is entirely different. You're taking like the texture of the present moment, the noise of the present moment, and you're searching through it for real meaning and real connection and real like moments of like intertextual connection between these realities that seem otherwise discrete to us. And I think that's what good fucking literature about the present moment does. And so I wouldn't be surprised if whatever ultimately comes of this actually does stand the test of time, man.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. I don't feel well, those were extremely, extremely nice words. I really appreciate it. And so it sucks that Twitter doesn't allow you to post stuff from Substack. You can't like get a following anymore.
They're still doing that?
Yeah.
I thought they stopped doing that.
Oh, I think they still do that, right?
Because they were doing it, and I was worried about it because the last Substack thing I did, which I think was a conversation with you about Stuart Buck, was right after they had announced, like, there was that whole to-do
and your
about
numbers
Substack.
did fine.
Yeah, no, I got
But
just as much
that's such a
engagement
hot
on that
topic.
as if anything, I got more engagement on that than usual. But of course, it was a salacious topic that people wanted to hear about,
Yeah. I first off, I still saw your link. I think I saw the link on Twitter. I think maybe I may have clicked it from an email. I read this today though. But there's a line in there, the decoherence thing. Like decoherence is the problem we need to figure out. He says he's been talking to Chat GPT and Danvo, which is do anything now mode or whatever. That like the idea of like jailbreaking Chat GPT 3, juxtaposed with the decoherence, the phenomenon of decoherence, where sometimes the state is like explained by classical mechanics and sometimes it's quantum mechanics. That's just such a perfect line. I had to just say something about that. It's like so fucking genius. That's like a genius fucking line.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I know we're both fucking fascinated with that stuff.
That's good shit, dude.
Thank you, man. So I think, unless Rudy, did anyone while Derek was reading put in chat that they wanted to read? If not, I think we'll call it.
No, I don't think so.
I didn't see anyone. Okay, well, we will call it there. Of course, I'm going to leave the Zoom meeting open for God knows how long so people can hang out and talk. But we will end the reading here. This has been Misery Loves Company. We do this every fucking week. Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. Anyone is welcome to come and share their work. Anyone's welcome to come and just hang out. We tweet out the Zoom link. Well, unless you're a troll, I've become a little bit more authoritarian in dealing with the trolls, I'm afraid. But yeah, we tweet out the Zoom link from our Twitter account at Misery Tourism, all one word, right before we begin. And thank you to everyone who read tonight. More fucking great shit as usual. And once again, we went into tonight and like almost no one had signed up. And I was like, well, fuck it. I don't know if we're even going to do this thing. And instead, we ended up with more incredible shit. So that's great. Anyway, this has been very cool. Thank you guys. I think I'll end it there.